Can we all just take a second here, take a look around, take a deep breath, and think about how far we've come? Did anyone think that we would actually be here with week 1 of the ACC football season, week 2 of college football? We've got a full weekend of football ahead of us. College football today, NFL football tomorrow. Lots of bets to be played. I'm your host, Owen Valentine. Welcome into Beat the Bookie, a fresh college football season, a fresh year here on BTB. As always, $100 bankroll to spend. And I'll be honest, this was a tough spread and a tough board to navigate this week. A lot of big spreads. We don't know a ton about all these teams, but regardless, I've got 8 bets today that should be profitable this week and a couple for the end of the season, some long-term bets for you at the end of the week. We'll get things rolling with our games of the week, starting out with Duke at number 10 Notre Dame. This is going to be a fun little quarterback battle. You've got Clemson transfer Chase Bryce going up against Ian Book. I'm not quite sure these offenses are ready to thrive, and I really like this Notre Dame defense. Your total is at 52.5. I like the under here, but I will say approach this with caution. This is a line that shifted down pretty significantly overnight. It was at 53.5 when I went to bed. I woke up this morning 52.5, so this line is dropping. So approach that with caution, but still, I like this play. I like the under. I don't think these offenses are ready to thrive. $10 on under 52.5. Into our next game of the week, Syracuse at number 18 North Carolina, sticking in the ACC here. I like this North Carolina team. They're a very good team, but I do think they're a bit overrated, and I like the matchup this week. Syracuse's strongest asset is its secondary. UNC's strongest asset is going to be its pass game. I think they're going to collide pretty well, and I don't think Syracuse completely stunts UNC, but I think they can easily keep this within 3 scores. This is a huge spread. 23.5 points is a ton. Throw 10 on Syracuse plus 23.5, and while we're on this game, look at that total. That is a ton of points. 65.5 is your over-under. I think this is going to be a relatively low scoring. I'm not saying this is going to be a 20-17 type game, but I think that this Syracuse defense can do enough to stunt UNC, and I think that there are, a couple of things that Syracuse can't quite do offensively. I think the total is going to be low, 65.5. Run with that to the bank. I'm going to throw $10 on it. I wish I had a bigger bankroll. I would have thrown more on it. That is my lock of the week, under 65.5. These offenses, similarly to Duke and Notre Dame, these offenses aren't quite ready to explode here right off the bat in week 1. Our last game of the week, Arkansas State at Kansas State. Arkansas State's already got a game under their belt this season. Yes, they lost, but it was to a really good Memphis team, and they had a lot of opportunities. I think the experience and having that week 1 game already under their belt is going to play major dividends for Arkansas State, and I'm not entirely sold on Kansas State this season. I don't think they're going to have a great year. I think Arkansas State is ready, and I think they can easily keep this one within 2 scores, $10 on Arkansas State plus 13. That'll do it for my games of the week. A little bit of the summary here. We've got the under in Notre Dame Duke. We've got the under, my lock of the week, in Syracuse at UNC. We've got Syracuse covering against UNC, and we've got Arkansas State covering against Kansas State. My personal picks of the week, we'll start with Western Kentucky at Louisville. Javion Hawkins, that's the name to know. Running back for Louisville, he is outstanding. He ran over this Hilltoppers team for 97 yards and a score last season. I expect him to do that and more this time around. Today's game, I think Louisville is going to overachieve this year. I think they're, rated a little bit below what they're going to be. I think they can come out. I think they can stun some people in 2020. I think we're going to take them minus 12, throw $15 on that. I really like this pick, and I really like Louisville here in week 1. Our next game of the week, we're going to go Louisiana at number 23, Iowa State. This is an Iowa State team with an NFL-ready head coach in Matt Campbell and an NFL-ready quarterback in Brock Purdy, who threw for nearly 4,000 yards last season. This is an Iowa State Cyclones team that was borderline 10 wins. Yes, they only had 7, but 3 losses by a combined 4 points last season. This is a team that is ready to win. They're ready to breach that 10-win margin and get to that threshold and be right on the fringe once again. I think they get it going in week 1, minus 11.5. Let's throw another 15 on the Cyclones. Last personal pick of the week, we've got Austin Peay at Pitt. This is a tough line to find. It's only on some select few books, but if you can find it, I really, really like Pitt here. Minus 27.5. They're a big favorite. I know they have to score or to win by 4 touchdowns in order to cover this, but I like what Kenny Pickett has to offer on the offensive end, and Jalen Twyman on the defensive side is an absolute monster. 10.5 sacks last season. Syracuse fans know his name. He was a big contributor in that matchup last time around. They've got strong offensive attributes, strong defensive attributes. I love what Pat Narduzzi has done to revive this Pitt program. Throw another tenner on them, minus 27.5. Now, normally we'd be talking a parlay here or something else a little bit special, but it's week 1 in terms of the major programs, in terms of the major Power 5 conferences here. Let's throw a couple of futures down. Start things off with a Heisman play. Everyone's going to be talking about Trevor Lawrence. You can't bet on Trevor Lawrence. It's going to be nearly impossible for him to win the Heisman this season. That means I love my guy, Spencer Rattler. This kid is a monster. Anyone who's watched QB1 knows his name. If you don't, watch QB1 and see what this guy put up in high school. He is a baller. He knows how to play. He's fun to watch, and he's going to join Baker and Kyler in that trio of Oklahoma quarterbacks to win the Heisman in the last 4 years. Plus 900. Throw 10 on that. This is one of my favorite bets that you could put in preseason, and I think it's one that is really going to pay out and be in the conversation for the entire year. One last pick. We'll go with a national champion. Similarly to Trevor Lawrence, you can't take Clemson. Well, you can. All right, and if you're a smart bettor, you probably will take Clemson. But maybe you throw a big bet on Clemson and you look for some value elsewhere, and that value is going to come with Spencer Rattler and Oklahoma plus 2,500. I'm giving you a dark horse here. They're by no means the favorite, but they're a team with a lot of value that a small bet could play major rewards if this can cash, or even if you can hedge if they make the college football playoff. This is something that I think is a really worthwhile bet. $10 plus 2,500 to win about $250. Play this bet. Oklahoma comes out with an offense every year that is ready to run. That'll be no different this season. 2,500, $10 on them. Run with that one to the bank. That could be a huge moneymaker for you late in the season. Little bit of a recap here. Duke Notre Dame will take the under. We like Syracuse to cover. We like the under in that game. Under 65.5. In Syracuse, UNC, our lock of the week. And then once again, to recap those futures, Spencer Rattler on the Heisman, Oklahoma, your national champion. $100 came and went. We had a lot of fun. We've got some high risk, high reward bets, and we've got some more laid back bets. A lot of fun to be on here today. I'm Owen Valentine. This has been Beat the Bookie. Stay safe. We'll catch you next week.